Let's come towards the UN Assembly and a lot of meetings happening there, a lot of heads of states
Okay.
speaking up. Anything you want to share with us that any analysis about the
Well,
president's speeches and
yeah.
appearances and
Yeah.
interactions and Donald Trump's speech, which was more about the escalator. Uh, anything you want to say about the UN Assembly?
Well, first of all, Ali, that was just the regular meeting, the assembly where state leaders, world leaders talks and all that. UN, the United Nations is toothless. The United Nations has no power. It's just a facade for whatever. So, and those speeches amount to nothing but a just empty rhetoric. It's nothing but a bravado, no more, no less. You look at the representatives of the Muslim Sunni countries, Qatar, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Egypt, all of them. Oh, we're going to have to condemn what Israel is doing. We're going to have ceasefire. How many times are you going to be saying that? While the innocent, defenseless civilians inside Gaza are being slaughtered. Let's just be honest about what's going on. This is even, I criticize even Pakistan itself for mentioning that they will ever consider giving the Nobel Peace Prize to Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Donald Trump is for Donald Trump. Donald Trump doesn't qualify, doesn't deserve that. And his speech was an embarrassment. I don't see Donald Trump as my president. There is no such thing. Most of us, some of us Americans, not most, some of us, and if not, I would go majority. We don't see Trump as a president of the. He is president on papers, but that's about it. I don't. For me, and I speak for myself, the Washington government or the president, they don't represent me. So that was an embarrassment. So, and to think of those speeches is just for domestic consumption, no more, no less. In the case of Jordan, in the case of Egypt, in the case of Saudi Arabia, in the case of Qatar, it's all for domestic consumptions because their main concern, it's not about Gaza, it's not about Palestine, it is about the survival of their regimes. It's all what's at the heart of it. So when you hear this kind of rhetoric coming out of we stand together with Muslims, I know it's nonsense. Because where are the Muslim world when you saw the images of what's going on in Gaza? So where is this Islam? Where is this? And again, I'm not criticizing you. You believe whatever you want to believe. But again, as one who spent time on the ground in the Middle East, and I dealt with governments over there, I know how much they will use religion to justify and push the agenda. And I'm not just saying only Islam. The Christianity does it. Judaism does it. All religions, because religions are man-made anyway. So that's to me where the challenge is. And for Mr. Trump to have a meeting with the Arab leaders, that tells me right there the Arab leaders have no more dignity left because they don't have the gut to say, you know what, we're not going to sit down with you. After all, you're the one who are fueling what's going on in Gaza. Do you know that Donald Trump now is waiting for approval for $6 billion of weapon sales to Israel?
Whoa.
What are they going to do with more weapons? 6 billion. And yet, the pathetic representative of the Arab Sunni states are sitting with Trump. That's to me, it becomes on you. And to me, they don't have any dignity left whatsoever.
Well,
So I don't put much faith in the UN.
what he does he says that I've stopped 7 wars. And I've stopped 7 wars, and I've stopped 7 wars, and UN never called me. UN never came up to help me, and I've stopped 7 wars, and I've stopped 7 wars, and he's kind of true.
And which wars you're referring to, Ali?
The ones that he
No,
has
no,
on
no,
the
no, no, no,
list.
no, no,
Okay,
no.
okay,
I'll have to disagree.
okay,
I have
yeah.
to disagree with you, Ali.
Please
I have to
continue.
disagree with you on this. And the reason being, Ali, because there are things that people do not know behind the scenes. Those are intelligence matters. So He didn't stop the. He brought him in here because we wanted to establish a base in Armenia, which we did. And if you place a base in Armenia, you're looking about the borders with Iran and closer to Russia. It was not about peace. It's the same argument that Donald Trump made, which was false. It was a lie. It wasn't Donald Trump who stopped the conflict between India and Pakistan. India backed down because they were defeated, and they started to do the calculations that if they keep going at it, they're going to end up being defeated even worse. It's not going to reach the level of a nuclear use, but it's enough to put the image. Remember, in international relations, context matters. The images of an Indian fighter jets being destroyed by Pakistani missiles, it's enough. Pakistan doesn't need to say anything more. So for Donald Trump, he will take advantage of anything because you have to understand the personality of Donald Trump. And I'm not a psychologist to do an assessment for him, but I know enough to differentiate between a narcissist and a regular person. Donald Trump will wanna sort of take advantage of every opportunity to highlight his image. I mean, if you look at one picture, I just saw it. I shared it with my community yesterday. Him in the White House, and you know what was behind him? Two big posters of credit cards that says Donald Trump. Credit card. That tells you right there. The White House is for sale and for business. Donald Trump is all about enriching himself and his family. That's why he doesn't represent me. So when Donald Trump says this and say that, don't take it at face
He
value.
also says that something about stopping a war in Africa as well.
Uh, that is not true. Once again, I did a brief analysis for my community. Your viewers can go and check it out. A delegation went over to Burkina Faso. Delegation from Congress went to Burkina Faso. Why? Because we wanted to reestablish ties with Burkina Faso. And guess what the delegation said? Oh, we didn't want to meet with Ibrahim Traore, the current president of Burkina Faso, the captain who came through a coup. Okay? And you know what the truth was? Is that Ibrahim Traore was first to say, I have no interest in meeting with you. We flipped it. And the whole reason for that, why? Because now there is a major geopolitical competition regarding Africa. And that competition between the United States and China / Russia.
Okay.
And especially in the Sahel region. Why Sahel region? It's rich in uranium and rich in natural resources. And we need access to rare earth minerals. That's what's at the heart of it. But Africa's saying, especially those countries, they're saying, you can't trust the Americans, and it's not going to work. So when Trump says, I end war here and I end war there, no, because we are going behind the scenes in coordination with the French and the intelligence services of some European countries, and funding jihadists in Africa. It tells you both ends of the story. So you can't trust what Trump is saying or anything coming out of Washington.
Wow, that just changed everything. Okay, now
Uh-huh.
there was something that I requested you, and you like informed us. There was these videos going on internet in the Muslim world. Something coming down in Medina, something hit
Yeah.
a fireball sort of a thing coming down. What was that?
Well, based on my conversation with some trusted sources, that was nothing but the interception of a missile, no more, no less. So I didn't, even for me, I didn't want to talk about that one because there was nothing there. It was just a missile intercepted. Now, where the missile was coming, it's coming from Yemen. So now, who intercepted it? That's the key question. And that there are confirmation that it was the Israelis that intercepted it. The other ones saying are the Saudis. The Saudis, I don't see the Saudis have the capabilities, even though they have the Patriot missiles and all that stuff, the defense shields, all that. Saudis can't do anything without the Americans or the Pakistanis for that matter now. That's how much it tells you how sort of incompetent the Saudis are. Yes, they have a lot of weapons and so forth. So, to my knowledge, that particular fireball was nothing but an interception of a missile. Because as of this morning, the Israelis are attacking Sana'a, the capital of Yemen, because of what the Yemenis did, firing missiles few days ago to on Israeli territory, and that's exactly what, because it happened a few days ago. So that's why. And I know some videos. I saw some, and I didn't watch them. The moment I saw the title on YouTube stuff, I don't watch YouTube much, even though I have a channel. But it's because there is a lot of misinformation out there. Everybody's after the views and all that, and you lose credibility once you. That's why I don't. I just don't. I'll come to your show because I know you're credible. I know you are not going to be reporting on something that is not factual,
Thank you.
and that's the reason why I enjoy being on your show here.